Not usually my type, but I have to admit, old school beast is pretty attractive. What's up guys? This is Jackie, your Nerdecrafter, and for this week's tutorial, I wanted to make something Beauty and the Beast themed, so I went ahead and made this miniature castle inspired very loosely by the rooms in there. Of course, this project is made in a kind of chibi version, but you can add as many details as you want. I love how colorful every room is, and of course I really wanted to add a forest area, but I was pretty limited on how big I can make it because it has to close. Feel free to make it in any kind of container that can be baked. For those of you new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. There are plenty of geeky tutorials to keep you entertained. And if you like this project, don't forget to leave a like and share. All the dweebs are doing it. The full list of all the materials used will be in the description box below. Make sure that whatever box you decide to use is oven proof. So all the pieces have to be wood or metal. As usual, all the clay I'm using is of course from Sculpey. The first thing we're going to do is make the inside division of our house. So you're going to have a pretty much idea of what you want it to look like, and then you're going to lay them and bake them. Lay and bake. Now you're going to take your liquid Sculpey and make sure it's not glue, it has to be Sculpey, guys. Place it inside and do the divisions however way you want. There was a little bit of a separation at the bottom that I really didn't like, so I was like, nah, I'm just gonna put a little extra piece of clay in there. So as you can see right here, I added some bits of clay. And now we're going to bake that again for about 10 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. We barely started. What is all this mess? Now we're going to paint each and every room whatever color we want, and it's definitely going to be taking more than one coat. For most of them, they did take about 3 coats, except for this orange, which took about 6 coats. Dang, nab you, orange. Now you're going to start painting the details on the inside and try to have more finesse than I did. I had good intentions and then suddenly I started getting elephant fingers and the lines just got thicker and thicker. Make some flowy curtains with some really thin clay that you're just going to fold over and place. Make some cute little posts. Of course, you can go all medieval or Victorian style, but I'm a simple gal, so I went simplistic. Now you're going to bake it for 10 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and then place them right in there. Now for the bedroom, we're going to make all the tiny little furniture that goes in there. And we're going to start with the wardrobe, which is, her name is actually Madame de la Grande Bouche. So if you didn't know, it means Ms. Big Mouth, which I'm hoping by that name it has to do with her big mouth and not where my mind usually goes, straight into the gutter. So I'm adding the details, but for some reason I decided to add too much detail and then I gave her abs. And now she's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Actually, no. Maybe we can fix it by, smudging the lines and making it better. But that's very wishful thinking. Jackie, stop. No, stop. Start over. There we go. Time for the bed, frame, and cover. For the cover, flatten a really thin sheet of white and just place it on top of that blob we put over there. Cut some eye pins for the bed frame. Now the bed looks like it's going wee. We're going to add little curtains like we did earlier, and then a top part. I know it looks rustic, but heck, I would sleep in there. It looks so comfortable. Forget princess bed. This is a tent bed. Now for the dining room, paint on whatever background you want, and we'll start making the chairs. I don't know why that day everything was sticky, because it was like -1,000 outside. Bake it for 10 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and I made the backing with some brown and red clay and just stick it on there. Stop falling. It's okay. It's workable. We got this. And now you're going to bake these for 10 minutes. Of course, every time I say bake, it's entirely up to you. I just have very aggressive hands, so I always try to stay safe by baking. Now make your tablecloth and a really simple table by pushing in a blob of brown. Of course, you can make a more detailed one, and it's entirely up to you. But my cloth was pretty long, so I didn't have to. Alright, so I didn't think I thought the paint was dry. Alright, let's fix it. Yeah, that totally made it better. I wanted to make a fruit bowl with bananas and oranges because that's what rich medieval people ate. Exotic fruits and vitamin C. Time for the library. Paint on whatever details you want as always first, and then cut out a piece for the shelf. Once you place the shelf, we're going to cut strips, bake them, and then place them right on top. Make sure you put them in very snug. Unbaked. We're going to place that for the both sides of the bookshelf. To make the books, it's actually quite simple. Layer on some different colors, one on top of the other. They don't have to be the same length or thickness. And then just cut the strips out and look what you have. Some absolutely gorgeous colored books. I thought it would take longer to put them in, but it's actually much quicker than you would think. Make a tiny couch and then place everything into the library room. For the garden area, I have plenty of tutorials showing you how to do all of the pieces step by step in more detail, as well as the texture and the trees, so I'll leave a link for those in the description box below. So far, so good. For the chandelier, take your tan clay, put some pieces together, enough to make it look like a twig going wee. And then we're going to take our Pearl-Ex powder and then watch it magically turn into an expensive looking piece of furniture. Now we're going to bake everything for 25 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit. Once baked, I glued on some printout tapestries. And of course, the final big touch, the chandelier in the ballroom. Since the project was really small, putting the chandelier was pretty much impossible. I actually used a glue gun, and I really find that the tapestries really give this little miniature, a lot more depth and so much more interesting to look at. All done! I don't say it often enough, but I want to tell you guys how much I really love you and appreciate you. Every time the community needed each other, we were always there, and you guys are always there. So every time you make a suggestion or even tell me that you don't like something, I always take that in mind. What other way am I supposed to improve? Speaking of improving, Jazza from Draw with Jazza unleashed a GoFundMe. I don't know why I said unleashed. Because where he records is not necessarily in the safest conditions for a creator, so he did put his heart out there and extend for a helping hand. The GoFundMe page has been fully funded, but every penny that he gets extra will go straight into making better content. Content is not exactly cheap to make. Watching people have tears of joy is probably one of my newest hobbies. So I raise my sword to Jazza, and yeah, I do own a sword too. This is not a collab or a sponsorship or anything like that. I just love watching creators do the things they do, and Jazza's pretty good at it too. Until then, I will see you guys next week.